Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing great. Today I am here with you people to provide some of the information with respect to day before strategy before you are going to write your next exam. So just to begin with, I am expecting that all of you might have wrote your previous exam very well, and I am expecting that you might have written well in the exam irrespective of how you have written your exam. So one thing that I would like to suggest for all of you is that never try to discuss these things once you're done with your exam. Never try to discuss the things with your friends. Never inquire about how the problems went on, whether the balances have been tallied or not, comparing the solutions, discussing the answers with friends. This is really not a good practice that many of the students have to do. Okay, now why this video is all about, I request all of you to spend 10 minutes of your time and definitely make you to get certain fruitful output from these 10 minutes video. If any one of your previous papers were tough, then what will be the scenario? So there are certain things in this scenario that you have to keep in your mind. In these kind of professional courses, what have to be considered is that at least one paper will be tough. That we have to understand here. If that happens, one benefit that we have is that valuation will be liberal and some marks will be added to you in a moderation, and don't think that it is your only feeling, that you're feeling like this paper is tough. There might have so many other students who might have come across with the same thing, that the paper is tough. Let's say the other scenario, if all the papers were easy, so far whatever the papers that you have written, let's say they are easy, then here what you have to understand, subsequent paper there are chances that one paper might be tough. So now instead of celebrating all the papers were so easy, now what a student have to do, focus on the next exam. Alright, in the other context, what are the other things may happen? Even if you have not written this particular exam well, chances are there you may qualify, provided by if you follow these things. You try to focus on at least 40 marks in the paper that you have written where you felt like you have not written well. You better focus on the 40 marks on that, and make sure that the impact does not fall on the further exams. That is a very important thing. Another thing what you can do, let's say whatever the exam that you are writing now did not went well, then immediately the alarming thing that you have to do is that this is going to be compensated in the subsequent papers. Just keep that thing in your mind, and hence forget about completed exam and pay complete attention on the upcoming exam. Now for the next exam, allocate proper time for each chapter and prepare accordingly. And then when it comes to OM and SM, so what is suggestible? First finish up revising OM, then go for the SM. After that, in both the subjects, finish the complicated high weightage chapters and then revise the remaining. It's a quite common strategy that anyone can follow. So always keep one thing in your mind, the paper is going to be tough. So kindly enter into the exam hall without any assumptions and expectations. Never assume anything. So keep this thing in your mind. Never leave the complete chapter as a choice. At least try to focus on your past examinations, guest questions, MTPs in that particular chapter. And here one more thing that I would like to tell you, that some of the mistakes that you commit while writing the exam, I request all of you, don't commit the mistakes that I am going to tell you now while you are writing the exam. So in that, the first that we can understand, don't even reading the compulsory question in the beginning, and whatever the 15 minutes of time that we are saying, utilize the first 15 minutes of time very strategically. It's very important to understand the paper first, and don't aim to attempt more than 85 to 90 marks. Keep that thing in your mind while you are writing the exam. Never ever commit this mistake to write for the complete marks. Let's say don't panic if you get a lengthy or a tough question for 20 or 25 marks. So always start with simple 5 marks straight and simple theory question, problem or the subjective questions, or 10 marks questions in the middle. So first to focus on simple questions that you are very much confident about. Let's say how to revise strategic management subject. Let's understand that now. First, I am going to tell you some of the areas that you have to prepare from all the chapters. In that, the first one will be guest questions in all the chapters that you have to prepare. And then focus on A category questions in all the chapters, and then prepare all sets of MTPs of this particular attempt and the previous attempt. That also you have to keep in your mind. Focus on the fast track material if it is available with you. Verify the mistakes done in the internal exams, especially in revision exams and all sets of pre-final exams also. So these are some of the things that you have to keep in your mind in the first scenario. After that, now prepare following important questions in each of the chapter. So usually we have arranged these chapters in an order of priority so that you can understand what is important at the beginning and less important at the end. This kind of priority has been given for you. So with respect to SM, I have that priority list in front of you. As you can see, first you need to focus on introduction to strategic management. This will be your first priority. In that, I am going to take you through some of the concepts like meaning and framework of SM, importance of strategic management, strategic levels we have, benefits of having a vision. From this particular chapter, these are the areas that you have to pay attention on, like on the first priority, and the rest of the things on the second priority you focus on. After that, the second thing that we have in the list is strategic analysis and planning chapter. In this, the areas that you are going to focus on are SWOT analysis we have, and then some of the areas that are needed for the attention of SWOT appraisal, focus on BCG matrix, then study about strategic planning and contingency planning. That is also one of the area that you have to focus on. Then from this chapter we have Michael Porter's 5 forces model is also there for competitive analysis. Better focus on that also. In the list, third that we have is formation and implementation of strategy. In this, the areas that you have to focus on are marketing and marketing mix, McKinsey 7S framework is there, matrix structure in the organization structures, and business process reengineering, BPR, and what are the results expected from the BPR. It's better to focus on the overall concept of the BPR. So this is about sequence of chapters that we have and the concepts that you have to pay attention. Whatever the concepts that I have read now, make them on a first priority. Rest of the concepts in second and third priority, subsequently try to prepare. So this is how psychologically or strategically you have to keep these things in your mind just to shine in your examination.
Hi students, day before exam strategy for paper number 9, operations management and strategic management. How to revise operations management subject. In operations management, we are having 7 chapters. To prepare each and every chapter, don't leave any chapter as a choice. So if at all, if you want to take any chapter as a choice, at least in that particular chapter, prepare the past exam questions, MTPs as well as guest questions. First, you should prepare the following areas in each and every chapter. That is guest questions in all chapters. Then, so if at all, if you mark it as any chapter or any concept as important, as well as any theory question, that is theory questions which you have been marked as a category A. We are having certain chapters are theory. In problematic chapters also some theory questions we have. Therefore, in each and every chapter we need to prepare at least category A questions we need to prepare. Apart from that, we need to prepare latest MTPs, current MTP as well as a previous MTP we need to prepare. Then, so fast track, quick revision, for if at all if you prepare any quick revision notes that you need to prepare, and fast track also very important one, that also we need to prepare. Then another important point is, so you might have been written some exams, revision exams and pre-final exams conducted by our institute. So you might have been made some mistakes. Now you need to know verify the mistakes done in the internal exams. Then now prepare the following important model or questions in each chapter. Those are project management. In project management, first one is network diagram. How to draw the network diagram, we should prepare in that. Then total float concept. We are having floats, total float, independent float, free float. For that we need to calculate earliest starting time, latest starting time, earliest finishing time, latest finishing time. You should prepare those areas. Then economics of maintenance and spares management. We are having areas of maintenance, breakdown maintenance, preventive maintenance, predictive, multiple areas are there. So in that breakdown maintenance, how to calculate cost of breakdown maintenance, and frequency of preventive maintenance. So how frequently we should apply preventive maintenance, that is once in every month, once in every 2 months, that. Then introduction to operations management, first chapter, what is the objectives of operations management, scope of operations management, recent trends in operations management. This is theory chapter. These are regularly tested in the exam. Then designing of operational system and control. So product life cycle. So how we are having a life, we have a life for the product also. What are the stages of product life cycle? Then process strategies. We are having a multiple process strategies are there. Then capacity planning and capacity requirement, identification of bottleneck center. We have a multiple departments are there. How to identify a bottleneck center? What is meant by bottleneck center? How to decide? So what factors that decide the capacity? Then demand forecasting. So we have a two methods, direct method as well as a indirect method. When this direct method is to be applied, when this indirect method is to be applied, how to apply this one, what is the formula for it, that concept is to be prepared thoroughly. Then facility location and facility layout. So what are the factors to be considered for deciding the location of the factory? What is the impact of interchange of departments? Then location, job allocation, assignment technique and transportation. With respect to transportation, we are having multiple methods. That is initial basic feasible solution by northwest cornel method. Multiple methods are there. Northwest cornel method, initial basic feasible solution by least cost method, initial basic feasible solution by Vogel's approximation method. These are the areas to be prepared from transportation chapter. Then productivity management and quality management. Total quality management. How to produce quality goods. What are the factors influence quality goods? Then quality standards. So we are having a series of ISO standards 9001, 9002, 9003, 9004 and 14,000 series we are having. Those standards you should prepare. So how to get a quality certificate, who prepare, who will give and how they are going to give, what is the validity of that quality certificate. So those areas should be thoroughly prepared. Then scheduling, line balancing, time study, work study, method study and job evaluation. So what is the sequence of jobs? When you have a multiple jobs, how it is to be done? Whether it is to be done by sequence of jobs done by FCFS, first come first rule. Sequence of jobs to be done by least slack, then sequence of jobs to be done by, that is longest processing time, sequence of jobs to be done by shortest processing time. Multiple rules are there. Then linear programming techniques and simulation. With respect to simulation, we are having multiple variables are there. You may have a single variable, you may have a two variables or three variables. So you need to solve. This is the important area, two variable concept. When you are having a two variable, how to solve it? For this we need to prepare random number allocation table and simulation table. Then resource aggregate planning and economic batch quantity. So with respect to that, how to calculate economic batch quantity? What are the factors to be considered to decide economic batch quantity? Then you can take this queuing model and material requirement planning and manufacture resource planning and ERP. And production planning introduction and lean operation and just in time you can take as a choice. So remember that when you take a choice, past exam questions, MTPs, guess questions, those areas should be thorough in. This is the way in which you should prepare, allocate the time and prepare well. I hope that you will get a benefit out of this. Thank you for watching this.
So before I conclude with this session, there are certain things which I would like to tell you that. So we all know that Masterminds is a premier institution offering coaching for inter like MEC and CEC, from CA inter and then to CA and CMA final with an almost annual admissions of nearly 20,000. So here I have some details about our institute. So for the aspirants of BBA and MBA and law courses also, we are offering an innovative academic program called MEC Pro, which has been very successfully being running, and we are producing some wonderful outcome with that course. And here we have some of the details about that particular course also. And we are our presence in online is also very prominent. Here are some of the details with respect to our online presence. Not only the online presence, we have an absolute and an excellent physical infrastructure. We have the physical presence also. Some of the details with respect to our physical presence also. And for all the students, yes, our institute always provides an open door that any of the student can directly interact with the directors of Masterminds, and some of the details of the directors have also been on the display for you people, that any student can interact at any point of time for addressing any of the queries that they have. So I wish all the luck for rest of your exams, and I wish all the luck for our future endeavors. Thank you very much.